纽约，想要看纽约洋基队的比赛，不是一件非常容易的事情，因为票非常难买，想要买到好的位置更是不容易。那今天在周末礼拜五，美国当地时间的夜晚，洋基队要跟坦波湾的魔鬼鱼队来进行3连战的第一场比赛。那即使是面对战绩最差的魔鬼鱼队，想要进场看球，非常不容易的一件事情。那现阶段呢，纽约洋基队在美国联盟东区的竞争，追的跟波士顿红袜队只有1场半的差距，而且在最近3连胜德州游骑兵队之后，现在在外卡资格战了，现在也是居于一个领先的地位。各位观众，大家好，欢迎收看由公共电视为你所制作播出的美国职棒大联盟的热赛，我是袁定文。那今天马上要进行的就是洋基跟魔鬼鱼队在本周末3连战的第一场比赛，也是台湾的骄傲，也就是王建民今年球季的第22场的一个先发。那最近洋基队打得不错，他过去的3场比赛3战全胜，打败了德州游骑兵队，尤其是在前天3连战的最后一场比赛，1分的落后，结果在9局的上半，杰森·吉昂比击出了一个逆转的2分打点的全垒打，使得洋基队最后就是以1分险胜3场比赛都打败了德州游骑兵队。虽然说吉昂比最近的这个打击的记录并不太理想，25个打数只有5支安打，但是支支安打都是关键，尤其是前一支的全垒打，就是让洋基队获胜的一个重要的一个安打。那至于我们持续来观察 ERA， 也就是 Alex Rodriguez。ERA 在昨天过了他31岁的生日，但他这一次在德州游骑兵跟游骑兵队3场比赛里面，有2场比赛都是5个打数，击出了2支安打，尤其是前一场比赛，他在第8局击出这个阳春全垒打，也开启了洋基队在那个半局一连一口气攻得了4分。所以满了31岁以后的 ERA 会不会更成熟？他是史上最年轻能够击出450支全垒打的选手，也是第8个年轻能够在不到31岁的年纪就击出2000支安打的选手，他的实力是不容否定的。那今天这场比赛，王建民担任先发，当然需要这些大棒子来帮忙他多得些分数，看看王建民能不能够拿下今年球季的第12胜。那我们先来看一下这个洋基队在美国联盟东区的一个确实的一个战绩。那在东区，坦波湾魔鬼鱼队也是在这一区里面。那洋基队在最近的7场的客场比赛当中，前4场跟多伦多蓝鸟队是只有1胜3败，但是接下来的3场在德州却是3战全胜，打败了游骑兵队，所以这7场的客场征战是拿下了总共4胜3败的一个战绩，勉强可以接受。那现在是落后红袜队只有1场半，那蓝鸟队还是紧跟在后，是落后红袜5场半，跟洋基队是4场的一个差距。那洋基队在本周末打败了魔鬼鱼队之后，接下来就要从下个礼拜2开始在自己的主场跟蓝鸟队进行一个3连战。那蓝鸟队也是这个王建民在下一场比赛先发的一个对手。那至于精英队是排在第4，魔鬼鱼队依旧是在本区垫底42胜60败，而且在明星赛之后，魔鬼鱼队打了总共13场比赛，是输掉了其中的10场。不过最近的6场比赛，魔鬼鱼队是3战3胜，正好50%的一个胜率。那接着我们持续来观察王建民他的一个成绩表现。王建民在前一场比赛在客场在 Rogers Center， 也就是蓝鸟队的主场投了6局，虽然投球的内容不是十分的理想，被打了安打数过多，总共被打了10支安打，而且还被打了全垒打，失掉了4分的自责分。不过他依旧能够让这个损害降到最低，给了球队一个赢球的机会。最后球队是逆转获胜，也使得王建民顺利拿下了今年球季的第11胜。而且也是对蓝鸟4场比赛当中唯一洋基队获胜的一场比赛，所以王建民的先发对洋基队来说还是非常重要的。那总计王建民今年球季11胜4败，1次救援成功，那他的自责分率是4.01。那至于他主场跟客场的一个战绩，依旧有蛮大的一个差距。他在主场11场先发，最近是7连胜的战绩，而且已经很久没有输球了，77又2/3局投球，只被打71支安打，被打击率只有2.49%。那至于在客场方面呢，他10场的先发是4胜3败，我最近客场是2连胜，而且被打击率也是慢慢在降低，是3.16%，而且他的自责分率也是慢慢在下降，是4.99的一个自责分率。这是王建民在主场跟客场的一个差异这是我们来持续观察王建民的一个表现。那现在王建民在洋基球场的 bullpen 就在做热身的一个准备，这是他赛前热身的一个情况。你看他的投手教练 Ron Guidry 就在场边在负责监督。
Thank you.
第一场比赛在4月份呢，就是在自己的主场对魔鬼鱼队投了7局，就在第1局跟第2局各失1分，全场就失了2分，投了7局，而且总共才被打了3支安打，只是可惜那场比赛洋基队打击这个关键的安打一直没办法出现，不断的有上垒者，全场比赛最后留下16个残垒，最后还是在延长赛里面才输球了。那王建民在那场比赛跟胜败是无关，只是他那场比赛7局的投球内容原本应该是可以拿下胜投的，只是可惜没办法拿下胜投。那另外一场比赛就是前一场比赛在魔鬼鱼队的主场的 Tropicana Field 所进行的比赛，他是投了8又1/3局，差一点点可以投出一个完投胜。就那场比赛他是顺利拿下了胜投，而且一直到了第9局才失掉了全场比赛唯一的1分。那场比赛他顺利拿下胜利，所以今年对魔鬼鱼队，他2场比赛的先发总共投了15又1/3局的投球，可以说是投得非常的长，而且被打安打数总共才不过是9支。总失分也不过是失掉3分的自责分，算起来自责分率只有1.76，1胜0败的一个战绩，所以对魔鬼鱼队可以说是他今年球季算是投得非常好的一个球队了。因为我们知道魔鬼鱼队去年是带给洋基队非常大的困扰，洋基队对魔鬼鱼队的19场比赛理论输掉了中间的11场，只赢了8场，是魔鬼鱼队成军8年来第一度在球季的系列战能够打败洋基队。而且王建民去年对魔鬼鱼队的4场先发也输掉了中间的3场比赛，所以去年洋基跟王建民对魔鬼鱼队打的都不理想，但今年洋基跟王建民对魔鬼鱼队都打得非常非常的出色。好，我们现在就到纽约来看这场比赛了。那王建民现在已经正式在投手丘上做练投了，然后在1局上半对魔鬼鱼队展开这场比赛的一个先发主投的工作。今天面对的魔鬼鱼队排出来的先发打序，第1棒是 Lugo，2棒是 Crawford，3棒是 O'Daly，4棒是 Winkington，5棒 Travis Lee，6棒是 Cantu，7棒是 Green Norton，8棒是 Johnny Gomes，9棒是 Navarro， 委内瑞拉籍的这个捕手。那至于 Crawford 一直是带给王建民最大头痛问题的一位人物，3.68%的打击率，3个2垒安打，而且中间还有2支3垒安打，所以王建民对于 Crawford 的打击要特别注意。王建民现阶段就是11胜4败，4.01的投手自责分率，投了139局，这个投球局数在美国联盟的所有投手当中排名是第8多的。
Take a look at the Hyundai Pitcher Scouting Report. Take the Hyundai Challenge. Visit the HyundaiChallenge.com. Friendly confines. Well, he's 12-3 here at Yankee Stadium in 20 starts, so done very well here at home. Infielders beware. He puts the ball in play 86% of the time. Plate appearances, that ball is put in play, and mostly it's the ground ball. Economical. He only averages 13.9 pitches per inning, which is 3rd lowest in the major leagues.
And we're ready for baseball here at Yankee Stadium. And the only pitchers that throw fewer pitches are Roy Halladay of the Blue Jays and Greg Maddux of the Cubs. So good company there for Chien-Ming Wang. Here's Julio Lugo. And the first pitch is low, 1-0. We are underway. Chien-Ming Wang pitches well in the first inning, a 1.29 ERA in the first inning. And the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. Home plate umpire Tom Hallion makes the call.
You know, we were talking about the 13.9 pitches per inning. I think one of the reasons for that is he's got good control. He's always around the strike zone, and since he's not a strikeout pitcher, most of the time they're making contact with the bat.
Like that. Chop back to the mound. Chien-Ming Wang makes the out at first. 1 down.
That's pretty signature for Chien-Ming Wang. Let's take a look at his defense. Behind him, Cabrera in left field, Damon in center field. Purdy gets the start at right field this evening. Andy Phillips at first base, Cairo, Jeter, A-Rod at third, and Jorge Posada behind home plate. 253 ground outs, second most in the major leagues. Webb from Arizona has 254. And be aware if you're a worm that's hanging around home plate tonight.
Here's Carl Crawford. He can run. He tries to just put the ball in play and let his speed take over. Pitches outside, 1-0. hitting .307 overall, but on the road a .325 hitter.
You know, he's so dangerous in so many different areas, Crawford is. And he takes that in there for a called strike. He's got 11 triples. That leads the American League in triples. Obviously, he's got speed with 33 stolen bases, but he's also got power. And hitting in the second hole is perfect for him. He loves the fastball, and that's what he gets most of the time.
Count 2-1. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television, and SAP is brought to you by the all-new 2007 Toyota Camry. The 2-1. Hit sharply to second base. Cairo's right there. 2 away. 2 outs, 2 ground balls.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much Chien-Ming Wong. I mean, he relies on his infield. We talked about that in the scouting report. And you can see how that ball sinks. And when the ball is sinking like he's got it right now, most of the hitters, when they do hit the ball, they hit on top of the baseball and chop it into the ground.
So here's Rocco Baldelli, coming off about 2 years of injuries and really playing very well. Pitch is low and away, 1-0.
You know, I think if you're a baseball fan, I know the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, they are ecstatic that Baldelli has finally made it back after those very serious injuries, one to the knee, the ACL, and also a tendon replaced in his elbow. But if you're a baseball fan, what this kid did before he got hurt, you knew you could see that he was going to be a superstar. He had all the tools with the speed, the defense, the home run power, the average. It's just good to see him back in uniform.
And he could play center field. Still has a good arm despite the ligament replacement surgery.
And he still runs well.
Chopped over the mound. Jeter with the play. Fires to first. And that's a 10-pitch inning for Chien-Ming Wong. So he comes in under his average. And he has a perfect Chien-Ming Wong inning. 1, 2, 3. 3 ground balls. 1 back to the mound. 1 to second. 1 to short. Tampa Bay nothing. The Yankees coming to bat. And it's presented by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Center fielder Johnny Damon leads off. Good numbers this season against Tampa Bay. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, bats second. Jason Giambi will DH. He'll hit third. Cleaning up third baseman Alex Rodriguez. Jorge Posada will catch. He'll bat fifth. Then it's Bernie Williams, 1 double away from tying Don Mattingly for second place on the Yankees all-time doubles list. Bernie's in right. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing first base, Andy Phillips. Melky Cabrera in left. And Miguel Cairo will play second base and bat ninth.
Take a look at Tim Corcoran's numbers. He's making his 10th appearance for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Normally pitches out of the bullpen. In fact, he gets his start tonight because of the young left-hander, Scott Kazmir, not able to make his start with a sore shoulder. Let's take a look at the Hyundai Pitcher Scouting Report. Take the Hyundai Challenge. Visit the HyundaiChallenge.com. As we mentioned, Scott Kazmir not making his start tonight. Good slider. Better known probably as a slurve. He throws it very hard. His best pitch. And the 4-game winning streak becomes only the second Rays pitcher ever to begin his career 4-0. And James Shields is that other pitcher, and he gets to start in the 3rd game of this 3-game series.
And the count 1-1. Johnny 4 for 15 on the road trip, and he starts off the homestand with a base hit into left center field. Cut off there by Baldelli. Damon's going for 2, and he will get it standing up. Leadoff double.
Well, Johnny Damon doing his job here. And Rocco Baldelli, he did his job in center field because he got over there very quickly to cut that ball off. Otherwise, it would probably have been a triple. Watch him make the slide. He comes up and actually makes it a little bit closer than what it should have been at second base. A little bit better throw, and I think it would have been kind of touch and go for Johnny Damon. But he's got the leadoff double. The Yankees have a man in scoring position.
Here's Derek Jeter. So Damon in scoring position. And the pitch outside, 1-0. Derek had a good road trip, 12 for 28. His average is up to 347. And the 347 is good for second place in the American League. Joe Mauer, the catcher for the Red Hot Twins, is hitting 375. There's the rest of the American League leaders. Ichiro's 1 point behind Jeter, and then you have Tejada and Wells. Jeter grounds one to first. Nice piece of hitting. Lee touches the bag, and moving to third is Johnny Damon.
Let's take a look at the Devil Rays defense. The rest of the defense. In the outfield, you have a lot of speed. Crawford, Baldelli, Norton in right field. Travis Lee at first, Cantu at second, Lugo at shortstop, Ty Wigington, the former Met, at third base. And Leonard Navarro, the former Yankee, behind the plate. 70 errors that they have committed. That's third most in the American League.
Here's Giambi. Shift is on for Giambi. Big healthy cut. He fouls it off. Giambi ended the road trip in style. If you saw the start of our game, we showed you Giambi's home run in the 9th inning against the Rangers. Yankees come back to win that one. He was only 5 for 25 on the trip, but that was a big home run. Really sent the Yankees off on a good note, and better able to enjoy an off day coming off a win.
It was, and Giambi was like 0 for 4 before that at bat. And really, he had hit the ball pretty hard a couple of times into center field. It skied him. He didn't get him on the line like he did his home run. And there was quite a bit of wind blowing in from the outfield that held those balls in the ballpark.
Pitch is high. Obviously, the infield is back. A ground ball scores Damon, and the Devil Rays playing the shift with 3 infielders on the right side. And Wigington is trying to keep Damon close, so that leaves most of the left side of the infield wide open.
Well, almost the whole left side except for Wigington. Well, that's that slurve that we were talking about in the scouting report, and also he's got a changeup and the sinker like Chien-Ming Wong. But this is the slurve. He throws it very hard, and the slurve has just got a little bit more break than the slider. And you can see how that broke down.
And the count 3-2.
I'm not so sure where the slurve came from, but it used to be the slider, and all of a sudden somebody came up with the slurve just to kind of distinguish it being a little bit more of a breaking pitch than the slider. Is that you that did that, Mike?
That wasn't me. 3-2. Strike 3. Giambi down looking. That's a big out for Tim Corcoran. And Giambi does not get in his 81st RBI.
Yeah, caught him looking. Let's take a look at how Corcoran went after Jason Giambi. That was that sinker down low. Another fastball outside a bit. Up high, 2-1. Then that slurve that he swung on. And then he catches him on the inside corner. I think Giambi was looking for something that was out over the plate.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, who just got a very warm hand from the crowd. And A-Rod grounds one up the middle for a base hit. Damon scores an RBI single for Rodriguez, and the Yankees are on the board. They lead 1-0.
Well, A-Rod hit his 22nd home run down in Texas. And it was probably his best swing all year long. And you never know when you're slumping a little bit, and A-Rod has been slumping a little bit at the plate. Not like A-Rod type of offensive numbers, but sometimes those little things can really get you going. And this had some top spin, and Lugo at shortstop could not catch up on it. So a big 2-out base hit by A-Rod.
And it's RBI number 1,300 for Alex Rodriguez, and his 74th this year. Here's Posada. And Rodriguez, maybe he felt good about the home run that you were talking about, Bobby, because he said after the game he feels like he's ready to go off on a run. He feels good at the plate.
Well, confidence is probably the biggest thing that he has been lacking for quite some time. It's hard to explain what goes through your head, you know, when you're not hitting the ball well. You go up there knowing that I got to be so perfect in order to be able to hit the ball, you know, solid someplace, and then when you're going good, you just walk up there with the, you know, loose and relaxed, and you got a good frame of mind. And you're not worried about them getting 2 strikes in front of you and having to hit behind.
Count 2-0 on Posada. Posada had a good road trip, 8 hits and 23 at bats. Posada caught the last inning of the Yankees' victory on Wednesday. Sal Fasano caught the first 8 innings, but Joe Torre wanted Mariano Rivera to be comfortable and pitched to a catcher that he was familiar with. He wanted him to nail down the save, and that's what happened.
And Fasano did a nice job of coming in. He got in that afternoon and found himself in the lineup there, Sal Fasano, and the Yankees had just made the trade with Philadelphia and did a nice job. You know, he didn't know too much about any of the pitchers on the Yankee pitching staff, and he and Jarrett Wright worked well together.
And the guy probably knew the most about was Rivera, and they took him out for him.
Took him out, yeah.
Only had to know one sign from Mariano.
Yeah.
Check swing by Posada, so he walks, and that'll bring up Bernie Williams with runners on first and second. We told you that Tom Hallion is behind the plate. We'll give you the rest of the umpiring crew. Mike Everett's at first, Alfonso Marquez is at second, and Larry Young, the veteran crew chief, is over at third. So Corcoran with an early jam, and here is Bernie Williams. Yankees trying to go 20 over 500 in this, their 100th game of the season. Popped up. Shallow center, backing up Cantu, coming in Baldelli. Baldelli with the call on the catch for the final out of the inning. But the Yankees get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. The run on Alex Rodriguez's single is 1300th RBI. 1-0 Yankees. Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealer. Big crowd at the stadium as we move to the second inning. Yankees lead 1-0, and it'll be Ty Wigington against Chien-Ming Wang. Wang threw 3 ground balls in the first inning as the Devil Rays went down in order. And there's a strike. Wigington playing third base now that the Devil Rays traded Aubrey Huff to the Houston Astros. Wigington had been shuttling between third and first. He can play really anywhere. And there's a soft ground ball to Jeter right off the hands. 4 ground balls, 4 straight outs.
Probably the reason that the Devil Rays traded Aubrey Huff is because of the way that Wigington had been playing, and the fact that Aubrey Huff was going to become a free agent. So it became a business deal, and they felt very comfortable with making Wigington their everyday third baseman. And you can take a look at the numbers that he's put up there. You talk to Joe Madden, boy, he says a lot of good things about Wigington.
Here's Travis Lee, who has had a bad offensive year. He's 4 for his last 22, hitting just .205. Yankees finished the first half of the season in Tampa Bay, and Wigington at that time was playing first, and Lee was a little bit upset that he wasn't told that he had lost his job.
Well, there's Joe Madden in his first year, the former bench coach for the Los Angeles Angels, and then finally taking over in Tampa Bay. And he has got a positive outlook, and he's done a good job down there, despite the fact that they've had some injuries. New ownership group, and the biggest thing is that they're playing in the wrong division in that Eastern Division. I mean, you got to really upgrade if you're going to stay in the race now here in the East with the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox and now the Toronto Blue Jays.
Driven out to left center field. Giving chase is Melky Cabrera. 2 outs.
That's the American League East we were talking about. The Yankees now just a game and a half back of the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays 6 games back. Devil Rays find themselves 20 games back, only 42 at 60. But they were playing some outstanding baseball. The Devil Rays were right before the All-Star break, and then since the All-Star break, they've kind of gone flat, especially their offense.
Well, they are 3-10 since the All-Star break. Speaking of the Red Sox, they're going to play Los Angeles tonight, the Angels, and the start of that game has been delayed at Fenway Park, so there's a lot of precipitation on the East Coast. We had some of it earlier. The 1-0. 1-1. Cantu comes into the game with a 7-game hitting streak. 10 for 28 during that time.
And he's got excellent numbers versus Wong, too, batting .357. He's hit a couple of home runs off of Wong in his career.
Lined right at Alex Rodriguez. So another perfect 1-2-3 inning for Chien-Ming Wong, although 2 balls hit in the air. What's this world coming to? We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning as the Yankees 1, Tampa Bay nothing. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on My 9. We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning here at Yankee Stadium. First game of a 3-game set between the Yankees and the Devil Rays. It's 1-0 Yanks. Bottom 3rd of the order against Tim Corcoran, starting with Andy Phillips. Pitch swung on and missed.
Well, Andy broke out of a slump. He was 0 for 18 before the last game of that Texas series. He got 3 hits in his last time out there. But Andy's one of those guys that's very aggressive at home plate. And when you're going bad and you're aggressive like that, you don't always give yourself the best chance, percentage-wise, to get a good pitch to hit. That's something Don Mattingly talks to him about all the time.
3 for 22 on the road trip. Foul back.
But I think you'd like to have a guy that at least starts out to be aggressive, and then over time, you know, you learn to be more patient at home and get the pitch that you like or the pitch that you can handle. But I tell you what, whether it's the first pitch or the second pitch or whatever it is, if they're throwing a pitch that you like, that you're looking for, and they throw that, you should be ready to hit it. There's no reason to take it. That's kind of the attitude that Phillips takes.
And another base hit for Andy Phillips on the 1-2 pitch. So a single up the middle to start off the 2nd inning. Tonight's stock ticker is brought to you by TD Bank Financial Group.
Well, a little hanging slider, and that's what Andy got. He did what you're supposed to do with it, take it up the middle.
Here's Melky Cabrera, really impressing a lot of people with the way he's played. 10 for 27 on the road trip, and he works counts, works them deep. He's patient. And he's actually done a good job leading off for the Yankees when he gets a chance. That one he taps back to the mound, and the ball is dropped at second, and everybody's safe. And Julio Lugo is saying, wait a minute, I had the ball long enough for the out. I was just transferring to make the throw. But the second base umpire, Alfonso Marquez, said no. And now Joe Maddon's going to argue.
I don't think he thought he had enough control of it. He actually was reaching in to try to get the ball out of his glove, and I don't think it ever came out of there. And so Joe Maddon will go out there and argue a bit, but I don't think he's going to win this argument. We'll take another look at it. We talked about the Devil Rays and the errors that they have made. This is could be a costly miscue here. It wasn't the greatest of throws, but he never got it in the glove. He never got any control over it at all. And you can see Marquez right on top of it. He's looking at the play. And the ball never was even in the glove. And so I think that's a good call by the umpire, no question.
Now, you think he got him on that second step?
Well, no, I think maybe Lugo thought that he touched the bag with his foot and the ball in his hand. Maybe what he was arguing about. Let's take a look at it right here. Does he get his foot on the bag? I think he did. That was very close.
This will be a better look at it. There, he has it now. Looks like he might have got
it. It was close, and he may have gotten his foot on the bag, and I think that's what he was talking about.
Well, Madden will not win that argument, and neither will Lugo, so it's a fielder's choice and an E6. And it's Lugo's 14th error of the season. Let's see if Cairo bunts now. But Corcoran wants to talk to Navarro. He has control there, and his foot's on the bag right before Andy Phillips gets the second.
But in that play right there, it looked like Marquez may have been blocked out because he was in front of that play, and he was looking for Lugo to pick the ball up. So that may have been what had distracted Marquez, maybe, or at least blocked him out.
Cairo squares the bunt and takes a strike on the outside corner.
Well, Cairo's play is to bunt the ball down to the third baseman Wigington. He wants to get that third baseman to feel the ball. That way, that will leave the third base bag open and allow Andy Phillips to get over there. First baseman playing way in.
Again squares the bunt. Lays down a beauty. Sacrifice 1-4, and the runners move up.
Well, he deadens it enough that Corcoran's only play is to go to first base. So Cairo doing his job, and now the Yankees, the runner at third base, and only one out.
Infield is back for Damon, and there's a strike. Only Wigington is in on the grass, and if they hit the ball sharply to Lee, he'll probably come home with it as well. Damon doubled in the first inning, scored the Yankee run a little bit later in the inning. Hit sharply to Lugo, and Phillips doesn't come home. So the throw goes to first for the second out. Ball was hit sharply, and Phillips didn't want to take a chance.
Well, he is told what to do before the ball is hit. When you see the shortstop playing back like that, if the ball is hit to short or second, come on home, draw the throw. And for some reason or another, Phillips decided he didn't want to go. Maybe it was because it was lined, and maybe he thought Lugo could have caught it, maybe doubled him off. That's the only thing I could think of.
You know, Lugo wants this inning to end because it'll be on him with the E6. Here's Derek Jeter. He doesn't want it to end. He did his job in the first inning, grounding to the right side, moving Damon over to third. Fouls that one off. Phillips is at third, and Cabrera is at second. Breaking ball, check swing.
Done a nice job with runners in scoring position. Anytime you see those kind of numbers there, you know that you have a special hitter at the plate with runners in scoring position. Some guys, you know, they don't quite like to hit, you know, when the game's on the line, or with guys down there that you know that have a couple of outs, and some guys just cherish the thought of being up there in these situations here. I think a lot of your good hitters become better hitters when they know that there's men on base. I think it's more of a challenge for him, especially with 2 outs.
Now you've got a dangerous Jason Giambi on deck, but also a Jason Giambi that the Devil Rays are quite aware has not been hitting that well of late. 7 for his last 38, and you've got the red-hot Jeter up at the plate. Seems like they're trying to make the perfect pitch on Jeter, counting out 3-1 with first base open. And he inside outs the ball to right field for a base hit. 1 run scores. Here's Cabrera. He will score. Another clutch hit for the captain. Derek Jeter, a 2-run single. Yankees lead 3-0.
Well, something that the Yankees have been doing a lot here lately, and that's getting some clutch hits, especially with 2 men out and men on base. And you can see Derek look back there. Norton's probably the only guy that in the outfield that doesn't have that big of an arm or good of an arm. And Derek kind of draws that throw because he took that big wide turn at first base and Lee cut it off. Jeter now on a 7-game hit streak. And a couple more RBIs for him, 60 and 61.
And Julio Lugo's error now looms much larger. Here's Giambi, who struck out in the first inning with a runner on third. Jeter takes off. And no throw by Navarro. Couldn't handle the ball. Stolen base for Jeter. '21st stolen base. He's been caught just twice.
Yeah, and you've got the shortstop moving at the same time, because the shortstop where he was playing with Jeter over at first base and Giambi up there, he had to do a lot of movement just to get to second base, but it didn't make any difference anyway because Navarro just couldn't get it out of the glove.
So Jeter in scoring position, and the count is now 2-0.
You know what? You really have to stay focused, Michael, when you're Jason Giambi. And when they put that shift on you like that, stay focused to stay in your own element, because I mean it's an easy base hit for you with an RBI if you can just hit it toward shortstop.
3-0, and he walked him on 4 pitches. So Navarro having a little bit of a conversation with Corcoran.
Now these are learning times. I mean, you got the rookie right-hander Corcoran. You've got the Navarro behind the plate. He's a fairly young catcher, and he doesn't know this pitching staff that well. Coming over from the Dodgers. But a lot of upside as far as Navarro is concerned, and his ability to call pitches and receive the ball, and a good arm.
Here's A-Rod. Pitches outside. You talk about young, Bobby. Navarro's been in professional baseball now for 6 years. So you think, well, he's got to be up there. Well, when the Yankees signed him in 2000, he was 16 years old. So he's just 22 with 6 years of professional experience. Not big league, but professional experience. The 1-0. 2-0.
Well, he was a top prospect in the Yankee organization, but Navarro, he just wasn't going to go anywhere with Posada behind home plate for the Yankees.
And they used him
for the Randy Johnson deal.
Yeah. Mike Butcher goes out and talks with Tim Corcoran. This copper-added telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. So 6 straight out of the strike zone for Corcoran, 4 straight to Giambi to walk him, and now 2-0 on A-Rod, who singled in the first inning to drive a run.
And this is really pretty big for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, because Corcoran's already thrown quite a few pitches in this game. And being the emergency starter for tonight, you know, he's been pitching out of the bullpen. So, and one of the problems that the Devil Rays have had this year, and especially since the All-Star break, you see those 41 pitches already. We're not out of the second inning. Their bullpen has really suffered. And that would mean that probably Joe Maddon would have to use quite a few guys out of the bullpen.
Bobby, their bullpen has been just abysmal. Since the All-Star break, their bullpen has a 7.38 ERA.
There it is.
And that's since July 4th. So overall, even the entire season, they've just been abysmal. It's the weak part of this ball club. at 3-1. And A-Rod walks to load the bases. So that brings up Posada. Posada walked in the first inning. 43 pitches for Corcoran, and the strike-to-ball ratio is not very good, 22-21.
I mean, he's got the good fastball. He's got the good sink and the good movement on the fastball, but Corcoran right now does not have the good command of the fastball. He's not able to put it where he wants to.
3-0 Yankees as they look for more. Bases loaded. And a strike to Posada. Jeter got the big 2-run single. He's at third. Giambi at second. And A-Rod over at first. Big healthy cut, the count 0-2. Posada 4 hits and 16 at bats with the bases loaded this year, so below his lifetime average, which is close to 320 with the bases loaded. Devil Rays want to keep it right here because they know the pitcher Chien-Ming Wang is, and they also know that they've not done anything against him in the 2 innings so far. The 0-2. Right in on the fist, popped up to shallow right. Cantu out, Norton in. They run into each other, and somebody has the baseball. It's Cantu, who also might have broken his nose. So Julio Lugo opened the doors for the Yankees in this inning, and this one almost swung them wide open. A little bit of a collision in right. 3-0 Yankees as we head to the third. Hey, this fall, My 9 has it all. Drama, passion, betrayal, and beautiful people. Desire and Fashion House, 2 brand new shows, 6 nights a week. See what all the buzz is about. Tuesday, September 5th, starting at 8, right here on My 9. 3-0 lead for the Yanks, and the first pitch to Greg Norton as we start the third is a strike from Chien-Ming Wang. The Chevy scoreboard, 3-4-0 for the Yanks, 0-0-1 for Tampa Bay. That one allowed 2 unearned runs to score for the Yankees in the second. Count 1-1. Norton's in a 1-for-12 slide, hitting .256 overall. Another strike, and the count 1-2. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Perfect through 2 is Chien-Ming Wang. 6 up, 6 down. And the count 1-2.
You know, there's a lot of things that hitters talk about doing when you have a guy like Chien-Ming Wang out there that's got that good sinker. A lot of guys will change their stance a little bit. They'll move up in front of the plate thinking that maybe they can get a better piece of the bat on the ball before it sinks too much.
Like that, a ground ball to second. 1 out.
Some guys, especially from the left side, they'll get a little bit closer to the plate because they're looking to hit the ball the opposite way. The one thing you don't want to do when that ball's sinking and going down away from you is to try to pull it, kind of like Norton did right there. And when you get way out in front, the only thing you can do is just roll those hands over, and that's what Norton did. So, I mean, there are certain things that they do try to do to give themselves a better chance to hit the sinker. And it appears tonight that Wang really has a good sinker ball going.
Here's Johnny Gomes. Boy, has he been struggling. 1 for his last 18, 2 for his last 46. That's a big-time slump, so he's down to 222.
Well, he's got 19 home runs, but I think a lot of times, especially with Gomes and talking to Joe Madden and Steve Henderson, the hitting coach, and some of the other people in the Devil Rays organization, that Gomes got 2 pull happening. He wanted to hit every ball out of the ballpark. And when you do that, he didn't get the good pitch to hit. And then when you do get a good pitch to hit, if you're pulling, you're usually pulling off the ball. And it's just kind of a snowball, you know, rolling down a hill for you. When you got things going for you, you're looking to hit the ball the opposite way, and you get about a half a second longer to look at it when you stay with it longer.
High pop up. Jeter on the outfield grass. 2 outs.
Guy like Gomes, I mean, he's got 50 home run power. That's what he's got. But will he ever hit 50? I mean, he can hit it out of any part of any ballpark.
Boy, that's got to weigh on the mind. 2 for 47 now.
That's a slump.
Here's Navarro. 7 for his last 15. And there's a strike. "22 years old. He's been with 4 teams already. The Yankees, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, and now the Devil Rays. Traded to the Devil Rays on June 27th with Jay So for Toby Hall and Mark Hendrickson, the pitcher. 1 and 2 on the change.
Well, I think the the question's still out on Deonner, the fact that he is a switch hitter. You don't find too many switch hitting catchers, but how much is he going to hit? I don't think there's any question about his defensive skills behind home plate, but how much is he going to hit?
The 1-2. Right there in that picture, there's 2 switch hitting catchers. Very rare, and here they are in the same game.
Yeah, I think Jason Varitek's the only other guy in the American League now that is a switch hitting catcher.
Two. Fouled away.
We got a lot of little leaguers and guys that are just starting their baseball careers. If you've never done it before, you should try to see if you can switch hit, because you'll never know unless you try it. And what an advantage once you get to this level to be able to switch hit and turn around and bat from both sides.
Another ground ball, another out. Perfect through 3 for Chien-Ming Wang. 9 up, 9 down for the Yankee right-hander. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 3-0 Yanks. New York Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by Audi. It's greater to lead than follow. Heineken, it's all about the beer. And by Acura, your life, your car. We head to the bottom of the 3rd here at Yankee Stadium. It'll be Bernie Williams, Andy Phillips, and Melky Cabrera. Chevy scoreboard, 3-4-0 Yanks. 0-0-1 for Tampa Bay. Breaking ball is a strike to Bernie. Bernie flied out to center. That was in the 1st. We told you when we gave you the lineups, he's 1 double away from tying Don Mattingly for the 2nd most doubles in Yankees history, right behind Lou Gehrig. Well, although Lou Gehrig's a whiles away.
Yeah, but it really is such a pleasure, at least for me, you know, being here all these years. And I remember when Bernie first came to the Yankees, you know, and being this shy and introverted personality, very quiet.
That one's driven into the corner in right field. It is off the wall, but it's not going to be a double as Norton fields quickly and gets the ball in. Mattingly safe for 1 more at bat at least.
Bernie moving up on these all-time lists with hits like this. And a lot of his hits have been clutch hits over his career. I know when they first were talking about Bernie, they were talking about 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. That just didn't happen. The home runs were there. And you can take a look at that doubles Yankees career list. And there's Donnie Mattingly, and the hitman up just 1 double away from Bernie. I don't know if he'll reach Lou or not.
That's a couple more years. Andy Phillips with a deep drive to right center. Baldelli got a good jump. He makes the play in the gap for the first out. And there's one away. Tonight's Smile of the Game is brought to you by Vital Dent. For a healthy smile, go to vitaldent.com today.
All right. Good smile.
Here's Melky. Reached on a fielder's choice and an error by Lugo, allowing Phillips to go to second. Allowed the Yankees to score those 2 runs in the second inning. Trade deadline is 4 p.m. on Monday, where you can make a deal without getting waivers on players. Now, you could obviously add players after that, but they have to get through waivers. And Melky Cabrera's strong performance has taken away some of the urgency for the Yankees to have to add another bat, maybe an outfielder. He has really proven that he belongs. Doesn't have great power at this point. Gary Sheffield might be back first week in September if everything goes well. But Melky's done everything the Yankees could have asked. He's played an exceptional left field and gotten some big hits. Driven the other way and deep. Crawford on the run. He's going to have to play it in the corner. It bounces into the seats for a double. That's a bad break for the Yankees as Bernie Williams can only go to third. So Melky Cabrera continues to stroke the baseball with a double.
Well, Melky has learned to use the whole field. I mean, he'll slice it down the left field line. The next time up, he'll pull it down the right field line. No chance for Crawford. Bad break for Melky Cabrera, because if that ball hits up against the wall, Melky's going to drive in a run.
Well, the Devil Rays, seeing the way that Wong is pitching, they can't afford to give up another run. That's Joe Maddon's thinking. So they bring the infield in with Bernie Williams at third and Melky Cabrera is at first, and that probably makes Miguel Cairo salivate just a bit.
Anytime you got a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, you're the hitter, you got to salivate a little bit. Those are good positions to hit in.
Along with Bobby Mercer, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on this Friday evening right here on My 9. We thank you for joining us. We're in the bottom of the third. It's 3-0 Yanks.
And one of the reasons for that is that you know, you can look to drive the ball to the outfield. You don't have to worry about hitting the ball out of the ballpark to do your job when you got that runner down there at third. So if you ever thought about hitting a home run, this would be a good time that you could do it. If you just miss it, you still drive in the run, do your job.
Now, what do they say, Bobby, that when you bring the infield in, you're 100 points better as a hitter?
Who said that?
I've heard that stat thrown around, that people say that you actually gain about 100 points on your average if the infield was always playing in.
Well, obviously, the percentages have got to be in your favor, because they don't have all that lateral movement that they can pick you on if you hit the ball hard. I mean, they just it's got to almost be right at them to be able to pick it. So that's probably right. But I don't have anything to back that up. But you got to believe that the percentages, and that's all you do when you go to home plate anyway. From a hitter standpoint, you want to try to put the percentages a little bit more in your favor each and every time you go up there. And obviously, with that infield in, your percentages are higher. And
these situations for Cairo, he has excelled with runners on second and third this year. He's 6 for 8. That's 750. Base hit here would likely give the Yankees a 5-0 lead, at least a 4-0 lead, and that's not what they want. A hot shot and a double play as Wigington steps on the bag. So that is one thing they didn't want, and it was right at the infield. As Bobby said, that's the only way you can get it out here, because they have no lateral movement. 2 hits are wasted, 1 runner left. We go to the 4th, 3-0 Yanks. We go to the 4th inning at the stadium. It's Yankees 3, Tampa Bay 0. Top of the order for the Devil Rays. They have yet to reach against Chien-Ming Wong. Julio Lugo. And Wong, free and easy, deals a strike. Bobby mentioned this in the scouting report. Wong likes pitching here at Yankee Stadium. 12-3 in his first 20 starts at the stadium. And that's the best start for any pitcher through his first 20 starts at Yankee Stadium since David Cone started at 13-3. And also in the 20 games that Wong has started here, The Yankees as a team are 16-4. It's a pretty good winning percentage. That's .750. There's a strike. 7-1 in home games, 3.24. Road games 4-3, 4.99. It's just got to be a comfort factor.
Well, do you feel more comfortable on the road in one of those hotel rooms, or do you feel more comfortable at home in your own bed?
At home. And that's something, I guess, Bobby, as he gets older and more experience, he'll be able to deal with it better.
Yeah, and you know what? He reminds me a lot of Mel Stoudemire. Ron Guidry, he had that great slider. But Stoudemire, sinker, slider, that basically were the two pitches that Mel won all of his games with. They're both pretty tall and lanky, and there's not too much to the delivery, but there's a lot to the pitch.
Strike 3 there to Lugo as he goes down. It's time for the Dodge trivia question. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Good question. Who are the 5 players from the original Tampa Bay opening day roster to play for the Yankees before or after? And the home plate umpire is turning and arguing with Joe Madden, who's arguing with him. So Tom Hallion kind of quiets them down. Here's Crawford. Popped up, shallow left. Cabrera. 2 away. So far, a rare inning, Bobby, because he strikes out somebody, which he usually never does, and he gets a fly ball.
And one of the things, I mean, Joe Madden, he can't argue balls and strikes. Obviously, that's an automatic ejection. But you would think, you know, a Lugo or maybe a Crawford with the speed that they have, try to bunt their way on just to try to get something going.
39 pitches, 27 strikes for Wong. And here's Rocco Baldelli, who grounded to short in the first. Count 1-0. Looks like he has an injured finger under that batting glove. Took some help getting it off the 1-0. And another ground ball to short. Jeter is there. And Chien-Ming Wang has been perfect through 4. 12 up, 12 down. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees 3, Tampa Bay nothing. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees lead Tampa Bay 3-0 in the first game of a 3-game set between these two teams. And Johnny Damon will lead off. 3-6-0 Yanks and 0-0-1 for Tampa Bay. Corcoran deals. A strike in the count 0-1. Nice play.
Hello.
Last 2 Yankee batters have hit scalding line drives, and they've resulted in 3 outs.
All you try to do is hit it hard. You can't always control where you're going to hit it. Good reaction by Corcoran.
Kind of reminds you of that play by Sean Chacon on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think no doubt that was a real game saver for the Yankees down in Texas when he turned that line drive into a double play and held the Texas Rangers to only 1 run.
Here's Derek Jeter, a big 2-run single in the second. Chases a high fastball, the count 0-1.
The captain was trying to go deep on that one, huh?
It was an un-Jeter-like swing.
Yeah.
Six home runs this year for Jeter. Goes up and in. Corcoran does. Corcoran's got a little giddy up on the fastball, 93 miles an hour.
Well, that's basically his best pitch. It's got a lot of movement to it, and the movement is in on the right-handers. I'm not so sure that pitch was that far inside. I mean, you know, Corcoran's been trying to run that ball in on his hands all night long. That's pretty much how they pitch Jeter anyway, is to try to tie him up inside. He loves the ball out over the plate. You can see Navarro setting out on the outside part of the plate, but That's his hitting zone. That's where he's dangerous.
Was that textbook, Bobby? You go up and in with the fastball,
yeah, right.
slider on the outside corner.
Ball away. High and tight, low and away.
The 1-2. Foul back. That's why scouting reports are sometimes funny, because you could read a scouting report for anybody and it's up and in with a fastball, low and away with a breaking ball. So Corcoran 1-2 on Jeter. Fouls it off to stay alive. Yankees are 6-2 this season against Tampa Bay. 2-1 here at the stadium and 4-1 at Tropicana Field in St. Pete. A far cry from last year, where they really struggled against Tampa Bay and almost cost them the division.
And as you may have already noticed, that Corcoran pitches from the stretch because he's pitching out of the bullpen. That's what makes him feel more comfortable. So that's why he started the game, whether there's a guy on or not.
Driven to left field. That's going to be a base hit and more as it goes up against the wall. Crawford digs it out, and Jeter is at second with a one-out double. Second hit of the night for Derek Jeter.
Well, it was that breaking ball again, but you could see where Navarro was sitting outside. He didn't get it outside. In fact, the ball broke back over the middle of the plate. And you just don't do that to a guy with the ability of Derek Jeter. And he turned it into a double.
25th double of the year for Jeter. Here's Giambi. Struck out looking in the first and then walked in the second. Count 1-0. And the count 2-0.
The third time Giambi has been up there, and every time he's been up there, he's had a guy in scoring position.
And again, with Jeter at second and the Devil Rays in their shift, most of the left side's open because Wigington can't afford to be playing where he would normally play for Giambi, which is around shortstop. He's got to stay close to the bag in case Jeter takes off.
Well, that's what I was talking about, you know, being focused on what you're looking to do when you go up there. And Jason, obviously a dead pull hitter, so they give him all that space over there. But it's got to be tempting. I mean, when you walk the home plate, you see that 2-Mac truck hole over there. It's got to be tempting to say, well, you know, let me just try one time to get a base hit through there and drive in a run.
And a strike.
And I don't know what Jason's looking for, because Corcoran has thrown a couple of balls right in his wheelhouse, and he's taken both of them. And if he's looking for a pitch out over the plate, he's not getting many of those. He's getting him strikes and out on the inside part.
And he walked it. Let's take a look now at the Dodge trivia question. Give you the answer as well. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Who are the 5 players from the original Tampa Bay opening day roster to play for the Yankees? We got Boggs and John Flaherty,
Cairo,
and Miguel Cairo. Let's see. Oh, Jim Mercier and Bubba Trammell. There's Miggy. And here's Alex Rodriguez. 31st birthday yesterday during the Yankees off day.
A lot of cheers tonight for Alex Rodriguez.
While the Yankees are on the road, Mayor Giuliani actually made a plea that Yankee fans should let up on A-Rod, and it's only going to help him if, in fact, he gets cheered. crowd chanting A-Rod. Lou Piniella actually told me, Bob, he said, New York's a ring town. He said, I told A-Rod that if you win a ring, you'll turn things around. He said, but the fans should really know one thing. Booing is not going to make him play harder, because nobody plays harder. It's probably going to put more pressure on him, so they're not helping him by booing him.
I think there's no doubt that they put more pressure on him, especially here at Yankee Stadium. We could see that in his defense, and we also could see that at the plate, because he was taking his defense to the plate with him.
The 2-0.
These fans, they're the best fans in all of baseball, and they're the smartest sports fans all around this country. I mean, A-Rod's not the only guy that they've ever booed here. I mean, they booed Mickey Mantle, they booed Joe DiMaggio, they booed some of the great players in the history of this game. And
the 3-0. He walks A-Rod. So now the bases are loaded, and Corcoran has been all over the ballpark. That is his 5th walk, and another trip by Butcher.
Yeah, you know, I think booing a lot of times, you know, you got a lot of people in the stands that are booing, and they have no idea what they're booing about. They just kind of follow what the crowd is doing at that time, and so I don't know that all of it would be malicious boos.
Might just be the hip thing to do, or they
I think it's just kind of a, you know, a crowd thing.
Right.
You know, you get like the wave. You know, you get a couple people starting the wave in a ballpark, the next thing you know, you got 50,000 people in the wave.
Hey, Yankee fans, go to MLB.com today and check out the brand new way to follow all the action around the league with the MLB.TV Mosaic. You can watch up to 6 games simultaneously on one screen. It's the highest quality video of live baseball you can watch on the internet. Check it out at www.mlb.tv. Blackout restrictions apply. So Posada, for the 2nd time tonight, comes up with the bases loaded. Last time he popped to the second baseman, Cantu. 1 out here in the 4th. And a strike. Jeter's at 3rd. Giambi at 2nd, and A-Rod over at 1st. Right-hander up in the Devil Rays bullpen. That doesn't narrow things down. They have 7 pitchers, 6 righties out there. The 0-1. A little bit low, 1-1. It's Chad Harville. And the 1-1. Missed outside, 2-1. There's no place to put Posada, obviously, with the bases loaded. 3-0 Yankees as they look to give Chien-Ming a little bit more of an advantage. Against Tampa Bay this year, Posada is 2 for 24, his lowest average against any team. But he's worked the count to 3-1.
Yeah, that was a big pitch right there. Posada now could sit in there for a couple of pitches. What a spot for a hitter to be in.
And the 3-1. He walked him, and that forces in a run. Yankees lead 4-0. An RBI for Posada. Jeter jogs home, scores the run, and it's 4-zip, and the bases are still loaded.
Talked about the fastball and not being able to command the fastball. That was a slur. A couple of breaking balls to start him off with. That's 3, as a matter of fact. And then the fastball up high outside. And then he just could not get command of that riding fastball.
Well, Joe Madden's seen enough. 6 walks is Corcoran's season high, so they will call on Chad Harville to face Bernie Williams. Yankees lead 4-0, looking for more.
judges. And I want to say, go Yankees. Go Yankees. Go Yankees. And go Yankees. Go Yankees. And I'd like to wish the Yankees all the luck in the world. Go Yankees.
Game, especially with a 6.55 ERA.
Yeah, he was recalled from their AAA ball club out of Durham. This will be his 27th appearance. But he has struck out 26 in 33 innings pitched, but the bullpen has suffered since the All-Star break. And one of the things that you want to do is to try to get into the bullpen, especially when that pen is not pitching well.
Well, Bernie Williams comes up with the bases loaded. Last time up, he singled off the wall and right. A .298 career hitter with the bases loaded and 11 grand slams. 4-7-0 Yanks. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays have not had a base runner over the first 4 against Chien-Ming Wang. Harville deals. Outside 1-0. Only speed on the bases at second base. Alex Rodriguez, Chien-Ming, and Posada. Not fleet of foot. The 1-0. Popped up. Fairly shallow left. Crawford makes the catch, and Chien-Ming just bluffs as the throw comes into Wigington. So Bernie couldn't get the job done. He makes the second out with a fly ball to Crawford, and that'll bring up Andy Phillips against Harville.
Bernie chased the pitch a little bit out of the strike zone. He just couldn't get on top of it, so and couldn't drive it deep enough to score that run from third.
Long inning offensively for the Yankees, which means a long inning for Chien-Ming Wang sitting. It's 16 minutes this half inning at this point. But if the Yankees could break this open, he would gladly trade that long rest. And here's Andy Phillips. 1-0. Phillips is 1 for 2, singled to center and scored in the second, then flied out to center. Baldelli shades him toward right center. Count 2-0. Chien-Ming's at third. A-Rod at second, and Posada at first. The 2-0. 2-1. You can see Harville throws hard. He's at 94-95. And we told you earlier, the weakest part of this Devil Ray ball club happens to be their bullpen. And Joe Madden turns to them today to try to stop the bleeding here in the fourth. The 2-1. 3-1.
Well, one of the things tonight, when you struggle not throwing strikes, and you're pitching behind in the count all the time. And
3-1. He walked him. Another run is forced in, and the Yankees lead 5-0. Yankees have worked 4 walks in this inning.
Well, it's one thing that these pitchers will soon find out, that if they haven't already read the scouting reports, that even though the Yankees are a good offensive hitting ball club, they are also a very patient ball club. This is one of the things that did the Texas Rangers in down in Arlington, was the fact that they didn't want to throw strikes and the Yankees wouldn't swing at those bad pitches.
And despite being 21, Melky Cabrera has joined that parade as well. And he will take a pitch. He will work the count deep, the count 1-0. Cabrera today has scored a run and doubled. Two and 0. Corcoran started this by losing the plate, walking 6 over 3 1/3. His previous high this year was 4 walks. The 2-0. Strike on the outside corner, 2-1. A-Rod's at third. Posada at second. And Andy Phillips, who just picked up his 27th ribby, is at first. Grounded toward first. Travis Lee will step on the bag, and that will do it for the Yankees in the fourth. But they scored 2 runs on 1 hit, 4 walks, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the 5th. 5-0 Bombers. Saturday and Sunday afternoon on the Yes Network, the Yankees battle the Devil Rays in the remaining games of this series. First on Saturday, join Bobby Mercer and me for all the action starting at 4. Then on Sunday, the coverage starts at noon with Yankees batting practice today, presented by your Tri-State Lincoln and Mercury dealers, followed by the Tri-State Quality Ford pregame with Nancy Newman and Kimberly Jones. Then Bobby and I are back again at 1 when the Yankees take on the Devil Rays only on Yes. Ty Wigington leads off against Chien-Ming Wang. Wang sat for about 22 minutes. And the men's warehouse scoreboard shows you the Yankees lead 5-0 here in the top of the 5th, and the Devil Rays have not managed the base runner off Chien-Ming Wang. 12 up, 12 down over 4. 1-1.
You actually think a pitcher will, when he sits there for a long time and their team is scoring them a lot of runs, you think they're sitting there saying, I wish they'd hurry up and get me back out there on the field. It's been a long time since I've been sitting here.
And there's a blooper to center field, the base hit, so the perfect game is over. The first base runner for the Devil Rays, and the crowd will give Wang a nice hand.
A little bit up the zone, you can see Posada had the glove down around the knee area, and that pitch was a little bit up in the zone and turned into a base hit.
Here's Travis Lee. High fly ball, fairly deep center. Damon is there. He has room, and he'll put it away. Wigington tags, but the throw comes into Jeter at second. So a long fly ball out by Lee. Wigington, by the way, with his single extended his hitting streak to 9 straight. And Chien-Ming Wang has been extremely economical. We told you he averages 13.9 pitches per inning. Not tonight. It's under that. It is going down. Hey, interesting thing happened between innings. I mean, a rough inning for the Devil Rays. Their pitchers couldn't throw strikes, but Joe Madden is so different than Lou Piniella, and he tells Navarro, good job. I think Lou would have punched somebody. And that's not a knock on Lou. It's just different managerial styles, and Lou could not abide by pitchers that wouldn't throw strikes.
Well, I think when Tampa Bay decided when they wanted to get another manager, one of the things that they wanted to do was just go kind of the opposite, since they have such a bunch of young guys that are a little, don't have a whole lot of experience. They need more of a pat on the back than scolding, and I think that's what Madden obviously brings to the table, is his positive attitude. Good, bad, or indifferent.
And one thing interesting about Lou, I mean, you watched the Devil Ray game, and you couldn't take your eyes off Lou because he was always pacing and gesticulating, but he squeezed every last ounce out of the Devil Ray roster. I think he won as many games as you could possibly win with those teams. He managed his heart and soul away, and I think it just became too much for him. He couldn't take it anymore.
I don't think he knows how to do it any other way. Yet the fact that when he took that job, I think everybody went, what in the world is Lou Piniella doing? He knows that they don't have a chance to win. I mean, this is a rebuilding ball club, and I'm talking about from the bottom, way from the bottom up. But Lou, when he took over the Tampa Bay job, I actually think, well, he did believe that he could improve this ball club and make them into a contender. But it just didn't happen.
Runner goes, and the runner starts, but a ground ball to Cairo. He'll take the out at first, and there's two away as Wigginton moves to second.
And it's a good thing because if the runner doesn't start on that pitch, it's going to be a double play. Wigginton off, and you can see it's a perfect ground ball to Cairo for the double play. But since Wigginton was on the move when the pitch was thrown, they stay on the double play. They only get one.
And what's interesting, Bobby, Madden likes to start base runners. He likes to put people in motion, but he can't do it that much with this team because this team swings and misses too much. And you swing and miss with a runner going, you're going to run yourself into an out on the bases, so he really has to pick his spots. Pitch to Norton is nubbed slowly toward short. Cheaters there, and that'll do it here in the 5th inning. For the Devil Rays, it's an official game. No runs to hit, and 1 man left. At the end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through. 5-0 Yanks. Hey, tonight after the game, keep it right here on My 9 News for highlights and analysis of tonight's action. The ChevyOffers.com Friday Night Sports Wrap-Up tonight after the game only on My 9 News. Well, we swing it to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 5-0 Yankees on the men's warehouse scoreboard. 5-7-0, beating 0-1-1. Chad Harville will deal to Miguel Cairo. We told you about the trade deadline earlier, and that is 4 p.m. on Monday. And that means that you can make a trade any player on your roster without getting waivers. After that, obviously, you have to get a player through waivers before he can be dealt. That's why the trade deadline on Monday is so very important. Some players simply would not be able to get through waivers. And there was one big deal today, Bobby, and you were just in Texas as the Yankees swept the Rangers. Rangers traded Kevin Mench and Lance Nix to the Milwaukee Brewers, essentially for Carlos Lee. So that was one of the big outfielders that happened to be available. And Carlos Lee will be playing the outfield in Texas, a place where he can hit a lot of home runs. Long fly ball to center. 1 away.
I think Francisco Cordero also was part of that club, so being part of that trade, so they got a hard-throwing right-hand down there. But I think Kevin Mench, he'd been struggling a little bit this year. Lance Nix was in AAA. He was their starting center fielder last year. But Carlos Lee, he brings some power to that club, but I'm not so sure that's what they need. I mean, you know, clubs do what they think they can do to improve their ball club and make them a better ball club, but I think it's pitching. You know, that's something that Texas has struggled with for many, many years, and maybe they feel like that now with Adam Eaton coming back, and they've got Kevin Millwood who's pitching, so maybe they feel like that they're pretty good. Adam Eaton had pitched for them all year long, got his first start against the Yankees when they were down there, and that could be like getting a free agent, you know, right? The stretch run. So add a little bit more power. Their home runs are down. They're way down, as a matter of fact, because they led the major leagues through about 102 games last year with 175 home runs, I think it was.
You know, the Brewers had wanted to keep Lee, and they said they weren't going to make a trade unless they were 7 games out of a playoff spot. Well, they're 6 out. And what they did was they sat down with Lee and they offered him $48 million for 4 years. And his agent said, we're looking for 5 for 75. And the Brewers said, I think it's time to trade him. And that's why the trade deadline now, Bobby, is a lot different than it used to be in the older days, because a lot of it has to do who's going to be a free agent, how much money is he going to command, can that team afford to even try to sign him. And when you come to the conclusion that you can't, sometimes you have to move those players.
Just like the Devil Rays moving Huff. getting a couple of minor leaguers in return.
Right back to Harville, and there's 2 away.
I think a lot of clubs thought the Yankees would be just all out crazy, you know, try to make a trade. But I'll tell you what, the Yankees, I think, have surprised a lot of ball clubs. I mean, with all the major injuries that they've had, Matsui, Sheffield, Cano has been out almost a month now with that hamstring. Sheffield may be back in September. Matsui is beginning to start to work on swinging the bat in Tampa.
And this is before the game with Sheffield working out a little bit.
Before today's ball game, keeping the arm and the legs in shape. The fact that Randy Johnson now is beginning to pitch a lot better. You got Chien-Ming, you got Mike Messina. So those are 3 fairly solid guys in your pitching rotation. And I don't see really any urgency for the Yankees. I mean, look where they're at. They're a half game in front in the wild card. They thought they never had a chance. I mean, there were a lot of people who thought they never had a chance to at least get in competition in the wild card. They had to win their division. They're a game and a half back to the Boston Red Sox. But I think you go all the way back to 1996, and the Yankees have built this foundation, and they built this winning tradition and this foundation through guys like Derek Jeter, through guys like Mariano Rivera, Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada. That is that foundation. You build around that and kind of piece it together around that too. Joe Torre has been a big part of that. So I don't know that there is a huge emergency and urgency to try to do a deal.
Derek Jeter has a 3-hit night. That is his 12th 3-hit game of the year. And he's over 350 now for the season.
Well, he's certainly got a chance for the batting title. I know that Mauer had a pretty big lead on him, but as the games get larger, I mean, this is he's swinging the bat about as good as I've ever seen him swing it.
352 for Derek Jeter with his 3 for 4 tonight. Here's Giambi, 2 walks and a strikeout. Now, Bobby, I think you might have been doing the game with me on the West Coast when the Yankees opened the season, and Reggie Jackson was in the booth. And he said that if Derek Jeter gets off to a good start, he said, which he usually doesn't do, he's going to win the batting title this year. So Reggie's somewhat prescient because Derek Jeter is number 2 in the American League. And it's always been very tough, Bobby, for a catcher to win a batting title because they simply wear down.
Wear down. Now he's sits in a pretty good position too because Johnny Damon has made a pretty big difference being on base a lot. Jeter gets a lot of fastballs and Jason Giambi protecting him, or A-Rod protecting him behind that. So he's going to get some better pitches to hit. If you take a look at Jeter's home run totals, they are down. And I think one of the reasons that Jeter's home run totals are down is because he's taking what is his strong suit, and that's hitting the ball the opposite way up the middle, and he's a line drive hitter. He says, look, I need to get on base. I need the double. I need the single. Let the big boys, you know, like Giambi and A-Rod, knock me in with home runs.
There's a strike, and the count 1-2.
But back to that urgency, you know, I think Brian Cashman with the Yankees realizes what they did in 1996. You know, they built that winning tradition and this sort of dynasty that they have over the last 10 years through the foundation of what they brought out of their own system and that they cultivated and taught down there. And you don't want to mortgage that future, you know, that future beyond, because you only have to have a few guys down there. And if you've got them and you think they're good and they're going to help you on the big league level someday soon, you know, why go out and mortgage that future that started in 1996, of which they brought those guys up and had done through their farm system.
1-2. Driven to right field. Greg Norton is there, and that'll do it here in the 5th inning. So for the Yankees, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the 6th inning at the stadium. It's 5-0. Whole other story. The King of Queens, weeknights at 7 and 7:30 on My 9. 5-0 Yankees lead as we head to the 6th inning. Chien-Ming has surrendered just 1 hit over the first 5. Here's Johnny Gomes. And there's a strike. Gomes popped to Jeter in the 3rd. He's now 2 for 47. And I know you're supposed to take 1 at bat at a time, Bobby, but when you're 2 for 47, are you carrying that into the batter's box?
Well, he's certainly thinking about it. There's no question about that. I mean, when that's a pretty deep slump there. And when you're in a slump and you get a pitch, a hanging pitch like that, you get out in front of it just a little bit too much. Now, when you're going good, you wait back on that about another half a second and it becomes a home run. I mean, that's a hanger. And you just don't miss those when you're going good.
And this is a kid who could handle adversity. He had a heart attack when he was younger. Christmas Eve of 2002, and he was in a terrible car accident with his best friend, and his best friend actually died in the car accident. So I don't know if 2 for 47 is going to totally unnerve him, but he's got to be thinking about it when he's in the box. The 1-2. Grounded foul.
One thing a lot of hitting coaches will do, that Steve Henderson, who's the hitting instructor for the Devil Rays, is to tell you, don't go up there and start changing a lot of things. Don't start changing your stance, don't change your hands. Don't change your thinking either. Just try to be comfortable, try to be relaxed, don't try to do too much, and get a good pitch to hit it hard someplace. Most of the time when hitters especially like Johnny Gomes, when they go into a slump, they're pulling off the ball. I mean, you got a power hitter and the head is flying, the hips are coming out, and the hands are coming forward. That's probably the biggest problem that they have when they go into an extended slump.
Grounded to third and foul.
And it's hard for a slugger like Johnny Gomes to think about hitting the ball up the middle, you know what I'm saying, or the opposite way, or even choking up on the bat.
And as you said, Bobby, he could hit the ball out to any field.
Any part of the field.
The 2-2.
A lot of times what happens is that when you're pulling off the ball, the hands come forward and you really only get a half a swing at the pitch. You're not really loading up, when you're in good position. But and then all of a sudden you get to thinking, well, I'm losing a little bit of my power, so I've got to swing a little bit harder. And you're doing actually the opposite of what you should be doing to try to get out of it.
Hit sharply to short, and when you're in a slump, you hit the ball hard right at somebody, one away.
There's Steve Henderson. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Now that's what we need to do. You can hit the ball hard. You just can't control where it's going to go. And you do that a few times, and maybe you'll get out of that slump.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Sims. Here's Deanna Navarro, as Gomes is now 2 for 48 and 1 for his last 20. Soft ground ball to second base. Cairo 2 away.
Well, Wong's got some kind of sinker going tonight, doesn't he?
Let's see how many ground balls, Bob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of 17 outs. There's a strikeout, there's a line out, there's a fly out, and there's a line out double play. No, that was the other. That was the Yankees. And then a pop up to short. There's that slider as Lugo swings and misses. Tapped right side, and off the glove of Cairo, trickles into right field. We'll see how they score it. Probably a base hit.
I would think so.
And that's how it scored.
Well, a lot of range for Miguel Cairo. I think maybe he thought it was going to hit on that edge of the grass and maybe bounce up a little bit higher, and it just didn't get there, and the glove never got down.
Still would have been a tough play even if he gloved it.
Momentum taking him away from the play. He had to throw off balance.
Here's Carl Crawford. So the second base hit for the Devil Rays. They're down 5-0. As we mentioned, they like to run a little bit, but it's hard to run when you're down 5-0. It's really hard to justify making outs on the bases.
If you're going to run, you better make sure you make it. You wouldn't want to run here anyway. I'd want to give Crawford as much room as I could between first and second. You're looking for base runners now. You know, you talk about slumps, Michael. You're good hitters. Everybody's going to have slumps in baseball. That's all part of baseball. I mean, when you play a game where you can fail 70% of the time to go to the Hall of Fame, you're going to have some slumps. It's just that those good hitters don't stay in those slumps very long. They're not extended slumps like 2 for 48 or 3 for 60.
Keeping Lugo close. A lot of teams interested in Lugo as we approach the trade deadline. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Devil Rays are trying to re-sign him, but there is great interest in Lugo for some of the contending teams. He could step in, play second short. He's over 300 hitter. So his destination is a little bit unknown at this point. Runner goes, throw to second is not in time. A stolen base for Lugo. So as Bobby said, if you're going to run now, you better make it. And Lugo made it. His 17th stolen base, and caught 4 times.
And he also can run. And he can steal bases for you. Posada having to hurry his throw. And he didn't get a good grip on it. Throws it into the dirt down there. So no chance for Jeter. He had to worry about just stopping the baseball.
Slice foul. He low-bridged the third base coach, Tom Foley.
I think Tom, along with, there he is. Get down. You got to be also pretty flexible if you're going to be a third base coach. But Sheffield was playing. You can see where Larry Boa, he was pretty much down the left field line.
The 2-2. Count full.
Isn't Foley the only original coach left over from the Lou Piniella, or is it Bobby Ramos in the bullpen? Oh, that was Sinatra that was out there, wasn't it?
I think it's Foley, and I know that Foley interviewed for the job too.
Yeah,
for the manager's job. I know I believe, Bobby, what we're thinking of is the original guy was Billy Hatcher, who's not on the staff. I think he was an original Devil Ray coach. I'm not sure if Foley was.
Yeah, I think Foley was there.
Now we know Foley was definitely with Lou.
Oh, you mean at third base?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm just talking about. It's a leftover.
Yeah, he's a leftover from Lou. Crawford, good numbers with runners in scoring position. Devil Rays trying to break a little bit of a slide. They've lost 9 straight road games. This is just a mini 3-game road trip for them, and they head back home. And that one gets past Posada. Crawford will walk. Moving to third is Lugo. So Lugo goes to third on the wild pitch.
Big time in the dirt, and no chance for Posada. He got the glove out there, but he never got it out there quick enough. And you never know. You know, you had Lugo over at first base. Wong threw over there a couple times. It kind of broke that little rhythm that he had going, and that's what speed can do to you, especially base runners. It turns you around, and you have to pitch from the stretch, and you also have to worry about the runner as well as the hitter. So.
Here's Rocco Baldelli. He's grounded to short twice. And the pitch low and away, 1-0. It's strange. You watch Chien-Ming during the season, and he has been really a very, very good pitcher for the Yankees. But there always seems to be that one inning where he falls a little bit out of sync, and how he does in the game depends on how he gets out of that inning. And this could be the inning where he struggles. And he gets out of it cleanly with a deep fly ball to center field. Damon is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 6th. No runs a hit, and 2 men left. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning at the stadium. 5-0 Yankees. (307-1212) or just log on to Yankees.com. Alex Rodriguez, a perfect night for him. 1 for 1, an RBI and 2 walks. Chad Harville deals, and the pitch is foul back. 5-0 Yankees as we head to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be A-Rod, Posada, and Williams. Along with Bobby Mercer, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on My 9. 5-8-0 Yanks, 0-2-1 for Tampa Bay. First game of this 3-game set, the 0-1. 1-1. Harville came on to get the final 2 outs of the 4th inning, but not before he issued a bases loaded walk to Andy Phillips, and then he pitched a scoreless 5th. Yankees are certainly set up pitching-wise for this series. You've got Chien-Ming Wang, Randy Johnson, and Mike Messina, so your big 3 going over the weekend. And the reason they're able to do this is because yesterday was an off day, which allowed them to skip their 5th starter, which would be Sidney Ponson. And the Yankees have another off day on Monday. The 2-1. Foul back.
Well, it's getting to that part of the season that really a fun part if you're a player, because you know you're in the race and every game is very important, and you do watch the scoreboard and you know you have to play. And then when you get guys like Randy Johnson and Mike Messina pitching back to back, you know that you've got to win those games when those 2 guys pitch. So it really is a fun time for players, and this is what you play for every year. I know we're talking about towards the end of July, but there's only about 60-something days left in this season, and it's been a long, hard battle for the Yankees, especially with Sheffield, Matsui out, Randy Johnson struggling a little bit. Cano, I don't know if they're worried about Cano or not. I think it's taken a lot longer for him to get well than they had anticipated. I don't think they thought it was going to be this long before he got back to Yankee Stadium, and he's still not back here yet.
They're hoping that Cano could get here within 10 games. He's going to try to start running, and they'll see how the hamstring holds up. Tapped out toward first base. Travis Lee will beat A-Rod to the bag, 1 away.
This team is a ball club, and Joe Torre is right in the big middle of it. The team of a ball club that never gives up. They've got a lot of heart, they've got a lot of resilience, and it goes along with that core players that they have here. You know, the Jeters and the Posadas and Bernie and Mariano, those type of players, and Joe Torre is a good ringmaster. You know, when things go bad, Joe is not a guy kind of a guy that panics, and neither does the core players of this ball club. Everybody kind of feeds off of that.
Posada lines 1 foul.
When you know there's trouble and there's panic amongst most of your players, I mean, it just kind of filters right on down the line to everybody else.
Well, Bobby's been talking about those core veterans, guys like Rivera, you just saw, Bernie Williams, the guy that played Posada, the captain of the team, Derek Jeter. They've been here through all the wars, so they've seen it, they've heard it, they've done it, they have the T-shirt, and nothing really surprises them. And what you hope, if you're in the Yankee organization, is that they could bring everybody up to their level. The 0-1. 1-1.
You know, it would have been so easy just to pack it in and have the excuse, well, you know, we lost a couple of our big men. We lost at least 60 home runs from them. We lost you know, a couple of hundred RBIs. How do you overcome that type of stuff? I don't think that was ever on the mind of this team.
Travis Lee will take it himself. Slick fielding first baseman, makes the first 2 outs of the inning.
I mean, you're around those players, Michael. You can see how they feel, and you know, when things were going bad, Randy was struggling a little bit, and they were losing a few games, and but they were still kind of hanging in to, you know, they'd win 3 or 4 back. There really wasn't a whole lot of panic around there, and Joe, I mean, he's got the greatest poker face in the world. You never know whether he's panicking or not, if he ever does. Now, he did have a little bit different look on his face the other night when Farnsworth was warming up the bullpen, and he couldn't make it to the mound because I think his chronic back was acting up, and they had to bring TJ Beam in there. Nothing against Beam, but he had it already set up. You know, the Yankees were leading by 2 runs, and Farnsworth was going to pitch the 8th, Mariano the 9th.
It didn't work out that way. It was Beam, it was Proctor, and then it was Sean Chacon.
Yeah, and it was a 2-run home run by Jason Giambi.
The 0-1.
Now there's another guy, Sean Chacon. I think Sean Chacon certainly can be a factor again, like he was last year. I think Chacon, his attitude maybe changed a little bit. I mean, you know, during the first part of the year, he's down in the bullpen now, but during the first part of the year, I mean, they weren't using him because they didn't need him.
Deep to center, Baldelli, gone! A solo home run for Bernie Williams. It got out in a hurry. 6-0 Yankees.
Bernie has one of the softest swings with an explosive bat. I mean, it just looks like he just effortlessly swings that bat, but when the ball hits the bat, it just kind of jumps off like a rocket.
Mattingly likes it. 8th home run. Crowd asking for a curtain call.
Get up there, Bernie. There you go. Enjoy it. There's Bernie. He wasn't supposed to be playing in the outfield much, and he's been a major part of this club already.
Well, the whole season has been a love fest here at the stadium toward Bernie, and you know what? It's not charity. As you said, he has played very well. He's earned those cheers.
He's played exceptionally well.
Count 1-1.
I mean, there was a very big chance that Bernie Williams would never see pinstripes ever again after last year. But Bernie wanted to come back and play for the Yankees, and he accepted a lot less to do it. He wanted to be a part of this club, and he knew he could still hit. Sure, the outfield, the defense is not quite what it used to be, but he still hits well from the left side and the right side, and they had a lot of potential of using Bernie a lot in that designated hitter slot, and then filling in the outfield every once in a while.
Yeah, he was going to spot start as a DH, and they thought Jason Giambi would play a lot at first, but with the injuries to the corner outfielders, all of a sudden Bernie Williams was an outfielder. And he's done a fairly good job in right. Now, he doesn't have a right fielder's arm, but he's been able to track the ball well. And I think he surprised a lot of people. He doesn't surprise himself, because when you talk to him in spring training, he said, I'm not coming back here as a farewell tour. I want to play a lot more years. He said, I can help this team, and he really has.
Yeah, he didn't surprise me either. When Bernie was announced that he was coming back, I thought that was a big plus for the ball club. Not only what he could do offensively, but just being here as a player and as a guy like Bernie Williams could be in the clubhouse.
And this is one of the things he could do from the left side. He hits a solo home run, his 8th home run of the year. We go to the 7th inning at the stadium. It is 6. Tonight after the game, keep it right here for Mine 9 News with Brenda Blackman and Harry Martin for the stories that matter to you. Plus sports with Russ Salzberg. Catch all the highlights of tonight's game and sports action from around the country and around the world. Mine 9 News tonight after the game. We go to the 7th inning. Yankees lead 6-0. Ty Wigington against Chien-Ming Wang. And there is a strike. 6-9-0 Yankees, 0-2-1 for Tampa Bay.
In New York, everybody knows that Wigington signed with the Mets. He was their number 17th choice in 1998.
And he is a slow roller to Phillips. Chien-Ming Wang covering, one away.
But his favorite player for the Yankees was Don Mattingly. He thought Don Mattingly was the best hitter in baseball. And he was pretty close to that.
Well, it tells you something, Bobby, because you read the media guides when a team comes into town, and usually there's a section in each media guide where they go favorite player. And guys that are in their 20s or 20 to 30, I'd say 50–60% of them in baseball, their favorite player was Don Mattingly.
Don Mattingly, yeah. And why not? Well, I'll tell you what, if I was a hitter, I would be talking to Don Mattingly all the time, because and I've had a lot of conversations with Donnie about hitting, and I tell you what, he's got it down. He knows what to do, and you don't. What a plus it is for the Yankees to have a Mattingly like that, because being the great hitter that he was, normally it doesn't equate to being able to teach hitting, or to talk hitting, or to talk positive about hitting. But he's got it all. He's got the whole package.
It's funny you mentioned that, Bobby, because when the Yankees finished the first half of the season in Tampa Bay, we had Gene Michael on Saturday of that series, and he said that he was absolutely blown away. He said how great Mattingly is. He said, I thought he'd be good. He said, I never, ever thought that he would be this exceptional. He said, because he's taken his work ethic that he had as a player, and he's applied it as a batting coach. Because, Bobby, you see a night game, Don Mattingly's here at 2 o'clock. You want to take early hitting at 11? He'll be here at 11. And the players swear by him. And around baseball now, he's considered already one of the better hitting coaches in the game.
And rightfully so. And one thing that he has is that demeanor that we were talking about. When the guy is not hitting good, it's not a panic situation for Mattingly, and he doesn't portray that, so the hitter doesn't get that from him. It's all about positive. It's about the positive swing. Well, you had a good swing at that time, and he's got all the film for him, and they feel very confident when they go talk to Mattingly about hitting. They believe everything that he says.
Travis Lee grounds the second, 2 outs. One guy who gives him unbelievable credit, Bobby, and you know this, is Jason Giambi. I mean, Jason had reached the depths last year, and he just turned himself over to Mattingly, and they kept working and working, and he gives Mattingly so much credit that Mattingly said, listen, it's not me. It's the work that Jason's done. But Giambi doesn't want to hear anything about it. It's Mattingly, he says.
I know there's been a lot said about Melky Cabrera, and well, does he fit the Yankee mold? I mean, he's the corner outfielder. Does he have enough power, to be able to really help this ball club win a world championship? And I've talked to Mattingly about Melky's power, and he said, look, this kid's going to hit for power. He said he's just not there yet, but you give him a little bit of time, and he will hit for power. And if you look at Melky, if you're going to hit for power, you got to generate the bat speed in the strike zone. Melky can generate that bat speed. He just hasn't learned how to hit home runs yet.
And Mattingly was like that.
Well, Mattingly knows about that, because he was not a power hitter when he came to Yankee Stadium, and he learned to become a power hitter. But if you've got that bat speed that you can generate, just like a golfer generates to hit a golf ball a long ways in that strike zone, you can teach him how to hit the ball in the ballpark.
Wasn't it Lou Piniella that taught Mattingly how to hit home runs?
It was.
The 2-1 to Cantu. Grounded to short. Jeter's there. And another 3 ground ball inning for Chien-Ming Wang as the Devil Rays go down in order. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees 6 and Tampa Bay nothing. Let's honor America here at the stadium as we listen. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Devil Rays. 6-0 Yankee lead. It's Rudy Lugo, and that's the shortstop's brother, young right-hander. And it's spelled Ruddy, but it is Rudy Lugo. The 1-0 to Cabrera is a strike.
Must be pretty special to be able to play on the same club, big league club, with your brother.
High pop-up. Travis Lee, one away.
One an infielder and the other one a pitcher. I wonder if he turns around if Julio, if he made an error, if he'd turn around and give him a stare.
Well, you know what? Of all the people that you could stare at, I guess it could be your brother.
That'd be all right. Mom probably wouldn't like it. You boys settle down now.
Cairo hits one deep to right field, going back Norton. And on the track, he makes the play, 2 down. Now you can see who's the lesser and least accomplished of the two, because Rudy Lugo has the initial. And you'll see Norton haul this in. Julio Lugo does not have the J, but Rudy Lugo has the R. Johnny Damon takes a strike.
I wonder who has the biggest paycheck.
Oh, that would be Julio.
Yeah, it's Julio, and he may have a bigger one before this year is over with.
Count 0-2 quickly on Damon. Damon tonight is 1 for 4. Missed inside. Slowly in front of the mound. Lugo just gets the hustling Damon for the final out of the 7th. So the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Lugo, with Lugo watching. Little brotherly love there as we head to the 8th. It's 6-0 Yanks. We go to the 8th inning. Bottom of the order against Chien-Ming Wang. And the pitch to Norton is high, 1-0. 6-0 Yankees lead. Big healthy cut. New right fielder for the Yankees as they tighten up the defense in the late innings, and they bring in Bubba Crosby to take over for Bernie Williams. And Posada makes, I believe, his first trip to the mound. Wong's longest outing this season, 8 1/3 innings. He did it twice. He won at Tampa Bay, 6 hits and 1 earned run. Then the other one was a heartbreaking loss at Washington. He's thrown 84 pitches so far. A walk-off home run by Ryan Zimmerman when the Yankee bullpen just had nothing to give. They had to have Wong try to close the game out.
He has never really broken a sweat tonight. I mean, this has been pretty easy for him, and thrown a lot of strikes, a lot of ground balls. It's something that the bullpen would cherish. You know, you just don't see it very often. Pitcher going 8 innings. You know, it's about 5 2/3, and then you turn it over to the bullpen.
There's the distribution of outs, so 14 ground balls.
If I ever get reincarnated, that's what I'm coming back as, a starting pitcher.
That's strange, because if I get reincarnated, I want to come back as you.
Wow.
Huh? That's right.
You better talk to me first before you do that. I may want to clue you in on a couple things.
The 3-2 is outside, so Norton walks. That's the second walk issued by Chien-Ming Wang. Let's take a look at the Devil Rays in-game box score brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. There's just 2 hits there. This is not a tough one to do. Julio Lugo with a single and Ty Wigington with a single. 2 walks, 1 by Crawford, 1 by Norton, and those are the base runners.
A lot of Dunkin' Donut holes up there for the Devil Rays.
Here's Johnny Gomes. Grounded foul. Well, he doesn't get cheated on his swings. Gomes 0 for 2 tonight, 2 for his last 48. Grounded sharply to A-Rod. Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1. And there's 2 with a nice backhand scoop by Andy Phillips. And around the horn, 5-4-3 double play. That's the first double play that Wong's got tonight. The reason is he hasn't had base runners.
Well, I'll tell you what, some pretty nifty work, especially with Cairo at second base. He had to kind of reach out for it and then get enough on it to throw back across to Phillips, who made a nice scoop for the double play. That's the reason Phillips is over there, because he's got a pretty good glove defensively at first base. So a nice double play turn by the Yankee infield.
There's Navarro. Good backhand scoop by Phillips. Ball fouled away.
Take another look at that scoop by Andy Phillips at first base. And the short hop is always the toughest one. And that's what he got with the backhand.
Driven out to left center field. Long run for Johnny Damon. But he gets there, puts it away in Death Valley for the final out of the 8th. Well, Chien-Ming Wong pitches a scoreless 8th inning. Johnny Damon helps him out with a long run and hauls it in. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-0 Yanks. Let's take a look now at tonight's in-game box score for the Yankees, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Yankees have 9 hits, 3 by the man leading off, Derek Jeter. Johnny Damon with a hit. Bernie Williams with a home run. Alex Rodriguez a hit and an RBI. Andy Phillips a ribby, and Melky Cabrera run scored and a hit as well. So Derek Jeter looking for his 4th hit of the night. Takes a pitch outside from Lugo. 1-0. 6-0 Yanks. Count 2-0. Jeter's average, as we told you earlier, at .352 with his 2 singles and a double. And the time that he made out, it was a productive out. Tried to move the runner over, which is exactly what he did. And that's fouled away. Crowd of 53,979 here at the stadium, which is the 31st sellout of the season. A lot of the fans have actually headed home to see some empty seats. But a couple of innings ago, every seat was occupied. The 2-1. 2-2. Some injury news. Octavio Dotel, who had been shut down because he had some tenderness in his elbow. He threw a bullpen session today, and that went well. He's going to throw another one probably on Sunday. And Robinson Cano ran the bases today, and he's going to run again on Sunday. Jeter goes down swinging, 1 away. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Jeep, makers of the all-new 2006 Jeep Commander. Getting back to the trade deadline, Bobby, if the Yankees get back their walking wounded, if they get back Dotel, if they get back Cano, and if they can get back Hideki Matsui and Gary Sheffield, especially with Sheffield and Matsui, it's almost like acquiring 2 all-star players. But The only problem is, when do they get back?
Well, that's true. I'm sure Cano, if everything goes all right as far as his base running is concerned, and he doesn't have any more of that soreness in the hamstring. And the Yankees know an awful lot about hamstrings because they take a long time to heal, and they know that if you don't heal it 100%, then you're probably going to have a setback before too long. And I think that's the reason they've been very cautious and patient. And Gene Monahan, the head athletic trainer for the Yankees, knows all about that. And the one good thing that the Yankees do now, you know, they send everybody down to Tampa. They have that one-on-one instruction, that physical fitness program that they put them through, and they've got their own doctors down there. They're in constant contact with Joe Torre and Gene Monahan and Stuart Hershot up here. And I mean, it's quite a little setup, and these guys usually don't come back up here until they're 100% ready to go.
Cantu has a charge from short right, and he gets Giambi for the second out.
But look at it this way. You know, I never did. I don't know how you feel about that, but I never did with the seriousness of Dotel's injury. You know, and coming back, you know, I never did put a whole lot of emphasis on Dotel. I know there was a lot of talk about, well, when they get Dotel back in June or July or whatever it was. You know, if you get any games out of him this year, I think you've done a pretty good job. Not that that's just the nature of that injury.
Pitch to A-Rod is a strike.
Now, if they get one of the two corner guys back to play some games before this season's over with, I think that's going to be a big plus for them. And it looks like maybe Matsui's going to be a little bit sooner than Sheffield. Now, you got to look at it this way. If Matsui does get back here, you know what I'm saying, and sometime in September, I think they're talking about August right now, but you don't know if you're going to have any setbacks or not. But just say he comes in September, you got to remember that Matsui is now about 4 months behind, and 4 months behind the good pitchers that the Yankees are going to be seeing. And the one thing that he's going to experience is the timing factor and also the strength factor in that wrist. One arm, one wrist is going to be stronger than the other. There's going to be, you know, it's not going to be exactly like it used to be. So you'll have to deal with that.
And the deal with Sheffield, that's of concern. He might not have any minor league games to rehab. Strike three, and A-Rod down on strike, tosses the bat away, and Lugo really pitched an impressive 2 innings, 6 up and 6 down. We go to the 9th inning. Last licks coming up for Tampa Bay as Chien-Ming Wang will try to close it out. Hey, tonight after the game, keep it right here on My 9 News for highlights and analysis of tonight's action. The ChevyOffers.com Friday night sports wrap-up tonight after the game only on My 9 News. Chien-Ming Wang's trying to wrap up a complete game. He has a 6-0 lead, and he'll face the top of the Devil Rays order. He's allowed just 2 hits and 2 walks. And the pitch to Lugo is low, 1-0. Lugo, Crawford, and Baldelli. And the 1-0. Grounded foul. That was his 95th pitch of the night. Yankees have the pen working just in case. TJ Beam and Ron Ballone. Grounded foul. The 1-2 just missed outside, 2-2.
Good sign in the 9th inning that when Wong was missing, he was still missing down, even with the breaking ball.
And the 2-2. Grounded to short. Jeter gets in front of it. The long throw, one away.
This is really a highlight tonight because the way the infield is played behind Chien-Ming Wong, that's been another key to this game. And all the ground balls that's been hit on the left side, Jeter and Alex Rodriguez, they're handling everything perfectly tonight. And a rarity. You get a chance to see a pitcher go 9 innings.
Very rare.
Maybe get another complete game. This would be his 2nd of the year and the 2nd of his career if he does that. Each one of the top three in the Yankee rotation, Messina has a complete game. Randy Johnson has 1 complete game, and if Wong gets through this one, he'll have 2 here in 2006.
And his complete game was somewhat unfulfilling because he gave up a walk-off home run to Ryan Zimmerman with 1 out in the 9th inning. So he pitched 8 1/3. It's considered a complete game because he threw the last pitch, but he ended up losing the game. A really gutty performance by him. That one's lined to left field. Cabrera backpedals, and Wong's 1 out away from a complete game.
One of the things that also Melky Cabrera has improved on tremendously, and that's his outfield play. You can see how comfortable he feels out there, whether it's right field, whether it's left field, and even playing center field once in a while. And what a job he has done.
Crowd on its feet. Here's Baldelli, 0 for 3. A lot of 0-fers in the lineup. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. Yankees looking for their 4th straight win. They took 3 in a row in Texas. This is the first game of a 3-game set. And the 0-1. 1-1. 96 miles an hour with his 103rd pitch. The 1-1. This'll do it. Ground ball to Cairo. Gobbles it up to Phillips. And the Yankees win 6-0 and a complete game. 2-hit shutout for Chien-Ming Wong. Outstanding work by the Yankee right-hander. Just 2 hits and 2 walks. Clean, efficient, economical. You couldn't ask for more.
It was a game just like Chien-Ming Wong. You expected him to pitch. I mean, all the ground balls tonight, as I was saying, you know, he really relies on his defense, and the defense was just absolutely perfect tonight. And that equates to the 12th win for Chien-Ming Wong and another win for the Yankees as they shut out, a complete game shutout for the New York Yankees and the young sinker bowler.
So much more to come from the stadium here on My 9. We'll give out the awards. We'll try to break this down. You want to stay here. Yankees 6 and Tampa Bay nothing.
I actually think I've seen him smile a little bit there.
各位观众，这场比赛，王建民终于投出了他生涯的第1场的9局的完投，跟第1场的这个完封胜，6比0打败了魔鬼鱼队啊。我们来看一下王建民这场比赛最完整的这场比赛的一个投球的记录：9局完投完封，只被打2支1垒安打，没有掉任何的分数，2个保送，1个三振，总用球数104球，66个好球，看得出来他今天的控球是非常的优异啊，自责分率 从原本的 4.01 降到了 3.77 啊，可以说他生涯到现在为止的一个代表作，不但拿下了今年球季的第12胜，也是他生涯的第20胜，也使得他生涯的连胜纪录达到了新高。前面几次曾经尝试4连胜都没有成功，那这一次终于成功了，是他最近的一个4连胜，在主场是8连胜的战绩。所以一切的记录显示，王建民最近的状况都是非常的出色，而且今年球季啊。 整个洋基队的所有的投手当中，在这场比赛之前，只有王建民、Messina 以及 Randy Johnson 呢各有1场的完投，而王建民那场完投是因为8又1/3局被打了再见全垒打，而没有完投9局。而 Messina 以及 Randy Johnson 也没有完封的记录，所以王建民等于是今年第一度替洋基队的所有的投手投出了第一场的完封胜，可以看出来真的是弥足珍贵，也可以说意义非常的重大。当然，我相信是更加深了王建民啊在未来投球的一个信心，以及在洋基队的一个投球的一个地位。我们再来看一遍这场比赛，今天精彩的镜头 ，Bernie Williams 击出了他今年球季的第8号的全垒打，而出来接受 Curtin Cole， 他是 Drive of the Day， 也是今天这场比赛打得最漂亮、最精彩的一球。王建民拿下了第12胜12胜4败。Cochran 他是今天这场比赛的败战投手4胜2败。Jeter 打出了3支安打，而且有2分打点。王建民的9局完投完封，当然是非常精彩。这就是这场比赛啊最后的一个结果。我们看到王建民在赛后接受他的队友，尤其他的投手教练的拥抱，他也露出了很少见，在比赛结束以后非常灿烂而且非常明显的笑容。以往他都是没有什么表情跟肢体动作的，所以很多的队友也可以看得出来，跟他握手的时候也开他玩笑，因为他过去都没有什么表情的，所以这是非常值得珍贵啊，让大家觉得看得非常过瘾的一场比赛。那这场比赛在满座的观众情况下，那这场比赛的 Play of the Game 当然就是王建民了。他精彩的一个投球，那魔鬼鱼队在这场比赛可以说是打击完全熄火，全场比赛只有2支1垒安打，所以王建民他精彩的投球就是这场比赛整体的一个这个 Play of the Game， 也就是他精彩优异的表现呢，造成了王建民拿下了这场比赛的一个胜投。我们预定啊，王建民下一场的出赛时间是8月3号礼拜4的早上7点钟，将是洋基队跟蓝鸟队来进行比赛，也在洋基队的主场来进行比赛，也是王建民今年球季第2度遭遇到蓝鸟队。前一场比赛面对蓝鸟队就是在上个礼拜，王建民也是拿下了胜投，6局被打10支安打，是失掉了4分。那蓝鸟跟洋基依旧是非常强劲的对手，因为两者之间现阶段只有4场，应该说4场半一个差距。洋基赢了这场比赛以后，现在跟蓝鸟拉开了4场半的差距，那跟这个波士顿红袜只剩下1场的一个差距了。这是洋基队今天获胜之后的一个最后的一个结果。那今天这场比赛就要转播到这里暂时告一个段落了。谢谢你的收看，我是袁定文，我们下场比赛再见。